We're going to celebrate up there.
Now, you and who? Family and friends?
Yeah. And the reason I'm going is to show my wife pictures, not pictures because we'll be there in person. I'll be taking some pictures though, but to show her what certain trees look like when they're full grown because,
Good idea. Because of your house?
Right. We moved to a new place and got a lot of planning to do.
So basically, it's a lot different when you buy a small tree or plant it to what it's going to look like. So you're kind of,
exactly,
this is going to be a peek into the future.
Right. But what I want to do is, since the house isn't finished yet or started, I want to buy smaller plants that I can plant up and grow while we're waiting for the house to be done.
That's a really good idea.
That's what I thought.
In fact, that's good advice for anybody that's doing landscaping and planting trees. Some of the biggest problems with planting trees is people don't know what they're going to end up looking like, how big the root system's going to be, and you can get yourself into some problems.
Well, there's a book out called Trees of San Diego, which I think is phenomenal for anybody that lives in the San Diego area.
Right.
Because it shows the mature size of a tree. And better than that, it tells you where it is in San Diego.
Really?
So if you want to drive over to look at it in person, you can do that.
So it's been around, this book's been out for a while?
Probably, what do you think, Tiger? Maybe 10 years?
Oh, I think more than 10 years.
More than 10 years?
I think 15.
15?
Yeah. But you know what?
So now the trees are even bigger.
You know what I think is funny about this whole story is that how long have you been studying horticulture, John?
I'm going to guess. 53 years.
That's how long I've been in the business, so I guess you could say.
But you went to
true.
college for it, though, too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's before you were in the business, or did you go to college and then get in the business?
No, I started working for Frank's Nursery when I was 16.
Okay. So basically,
$1.40 an hour.
What did Brian just say? 53 years?
I was a guess.
Yeah.
53 years.
And he said that's about right.
Yeah.
After 53 years of studying horticulture, and not just here in Southern California, but all over the nation and then internationally.
He's a Michigan
Your
boy.
wife still doesn't trust you to pick out the right tree. That you got to take her up to the LA Arboretum to see them. So she's got to correct you to make sure you're not picking out the wrong one.
I think it's more that she wants to see what it's going to look like when it comes to fruition. That's my safe bet right there.
I don't think she trusts John.
It's not that she doesn't trust me. She trusts me 100% to fulfill my own needs.
That's good.
But she's got her own likes.
But she has her own
her own
dreams
likes and
like,
dislikes, and we can always have something I like, even if she doesn't like it. I just have to hide it. But it's somewhere where it's not going to cross her path.
So we're up and running on Facebook Live now.
We are up and running, and I see it right now, and it's looking good. So you can, if you're listening on the radio, go ahead and join us.
And also just checking the audio. So if anybody on Facebook Live is listening right now, make sure let us know if the audio is doing okay.
Yeah, believe me, if something's wrong, they'll let us know. They're right on top of it.
Yeah.
Right on top of it. So you had quite a week, John. Did you get the gift? Did you get the gift I sent you?
No, but I got this, which I don't know. Maybe Tiger can show our listeners.
Does that say succulents on that book?
It says succulents. It's my new book, which will be on Amazon. I think Amazon said they're going to start shipping October 29th, but you can pre-order it for less than $20.
You know what's funny?
What?
I bought you that book for your birthday. Not even realizing that was your book.
Yeah.
I said, I think John would like this.
So go to Amazon.com, and it's called Succulents, and it's basically a hardcover edition, but more of a gift size edition of my last book.
I like the size of it.
Yeah,
it's a nice size book.
That's what they thought. The last book we wrote, I wrote it with Bob Reedmiller.
Right.
Did so well that they thought, hey, let's come out with a smaller gift size edition.
And that was the editor's idea?
It was the editor's idea, yeah.
I think they like you. And it's tough. People talk about writing books and they think, all this money comes flowing in. It's really good, but not really the way it is all the time.
It is way too many words in it for me, though.
And there's got to be
There's
pictures.
a lot of pictures.
There's a lot of
we
beautiful
took the pictures with you in mind, Tiger.
But yeah.
Now, John, I want to remind you what Tiger reminded you of when you go to the Arboretum today. Take pictures and then send them to us. We can post them.
That's two things to remember.
And now everybody has heard it.
Everybody's heard it. They're going to expect these pictures from you, John.
I'm going to definitely take some pictures of the Brachiochiton rupestris.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, because those trees just fascinate me.
Yeah, well, they're one of my favorites. Always have been. You know that.
He's got one on his patio too.
I probably do.
Speaking of your patio, when I got up this morning, it was cold and it was dark
Right.
because I guess we're going into winter.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, maybe one more week it'll look a little bit better. I have a ornamental red banana for you.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. And I thought, so rather than go bring it now
Yeah.
and chance the fact that it wasn't really going to do that well, I decided to wait till next week. So I'll bring it to you next week.
Now, thank you. Speaking of bananas, Tiger, what was it, about 3-4 weeks ago when you brought in the bananas? And you didn't really know when to take them off the tree or how fast they would ripe. And I was telling you this morning that I see a couple of my bananas now starting to turn yellow. There's probably about 15 or 20 on there.
So, have you on mine? I have one yellow one on one side of the bunch hand.
Right.
That way we described it as.
Yes.
And then I have. It's almost as if the thumb turned yellow and the pinky turned yellow.
Mine,
But it's weird because they're fully yellow, but the other ones are still fully green.
Well, I've got two. They're right next to each other. They're yellow. The rest are still green as well.
So you need to put them in a bowl with apples.
Put them in a bowl with apples.
Yeah.
Oh, for the gas? The ethylene gas?
Ethylene gas, right. That'll ripen them up.
You know what? I think I'll do that. There's enough hot air in my house, but I don't think that's going to work.
No.
But, yeah, I'm anxious what they're going to taste like. Now, what about that red banana, John? If I were to close my eyes and bite into it, would I know that it's different? Is the taste different?
Yeah, it's ornamental. It's not really fruiting.
Okay.
You don't really have room for a fruiting banana on your patio.
No. But, I mean, what's the taste going to be like?
It won't taste like anything because you'd be chewing leaves since it's ornamental.
I've chewed leaves before. That's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't fruit.
Okay.
Actually, a must fruit, right, Tiger?
Yeah,
'Cause they're planted from seed.
Yeah.
So, but it
But
just
they don't.
doesn't produce edible fruit.
Yeah. It's like those ornamental plums.
So, Tiger, your week at the nursery. What is happening? You're getting into Halloween, obviously, a couple of weeks away. Harvest time. Yeah, besides pumpkins, what's flying out the door?
Witches.
we're getting in witches, ghost and witches.
Yeah.
We're getting in a lot of the fall veggies right now, so that's
Sure.
changing over to the leafy greens and broccolis and chards and cauliflowers and those fun things for the fall. And then we got in our brand new selection of seeds. So Botanical Interest Renee's. Every year they change out the seeds. So this is the time of year they do the change out.
Oh, Renee's has got a great selection of sweet pea seeds.
And we have racks of sweet peas at each counter at the register right now, at the registers, with all the new sweet pea selections, and because those are to be going in now as well. And then we had this really cool event last night at the nursery, and I don't know many details about it because I wasn't involved with it too much, but they hosted there's these pop-up dinner organization, and they said, hey, can we do one at your nursery? They had about 60 people, this big, long table.
Hey, that's a great turnout.
And they had dinner and drinks, and it was really neat. So lots of fun stuff.
Okay, so we're going to come up on our first break. When we return, Tiger, those watching on Facebook, they see that lovely lady sitting to your right. Who are going to be talking to?
Yeah, we're going to be talking with Melissa, and she's with Quantum Microgreens.
All right.
So we're going to be talking microgreens, what you need to know, how to grow them, and the benefits of them.
All right, so stay with us. Brian Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, and our special guest coming up as we approach 17 minutes after the hour. Stay with us here on Garden America.
Trade pros. Whether you specialize in service or new construction, Ferguson knows firsthand how much work goes into a long day on the job, which is why we're committed to offering the products and solutions to get every job done right. With over 1,000 locations, an unmatched selection of specialty products, tools, and supplies, our pro pickup and same or next day delivery, you can trust that doing business with Ferguson will be the easiest part of your hard day's work. Visit Ferguson.com to find a counter location near you.
When it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to your short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes, set up screener questions based on your job requirements, then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Your time is precious. Let Indeed help you get to your short list of qualified candidates and discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. That's Indeed.com/hire.
Looking for a safe and natural organic fertilizer for your yard and garden? Fertilome is now offering natural and organic fertilizers for all your fertilizing needs. Roses, flowers, vegetables, herbs, fruit trees, palms, and more. Natural Guard organic fertilizers are a certified listed product for organic use and safe to use around your family and pets. Always read the label and ask for Natural Guard by Fertilome Organic Fertilizers at Dixie Line Lumber or your favorite independent nursery. Make your piece of the planet a healthier place to live by using Natural Guard by Fertilome.
Hi, this is gardening expert Melinda Myers. Keeping the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite slow-release nitrogen fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 10 weeks. The non-burning, non-leaching formula provides a slow and consistent flow of nutrients. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for over 90 years. Milorganite for better results. Visit Milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
Hi, this is Brian Main inviting you to join me, along with John Begnasco and Tiger Palafox, for a springtime garden adventure to Slovenia, Austria, and Prague. Our journey starts near the shores of Lake Bled, nestled in the lower Alps. Lake Bled is one of the prettiest spots on the planet. This is also our jumping off point to explore valleys bursting with wildflowers inside the Julian Alps National Park, and so much more. For details and the complete itinerary, visit gardenamerica.com or earthboundexpeditions.com.
Ryan Seacrest here with your Feed the Fans Friday update for the weekend. 2 big sequels are in theaters starting today. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, with Angelina Jolie returning for the title role, and Zombieland 2, Double Tap, Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, even Bill Murray are back. And for the pop culture fans, there's the Baltimore and Santa Fe Comic-Con. For whatever you're doing, nachos do not have to be shared. Get the new Grande Nachos box at Taco Bell with your choice of slow-cooked shredded chicken or double the seasoned beef plus a medium drink. Nachos are now a meal only at Taco Bell.
Hello, I'm sure you've heard of me. I'm everyone's favorite day of the week, Saturday. Yes, you're welcome. And as if I wasn't already popular enough, now every Saturday, a 6-inch meatball marinara is just $3.99 at Subway restaurants. It's the sub of the day, and it's a different 6-inch sub each day for $3.99. But it's not a popularity contest. Okay, it totally is. Subway, make it what you want. At participating restaurants, additional charge for extras, plus applicable tax. No additional discounts or coupons may be applied.
All right, 21 minutes after the hour, back here live in San Diego, broadcasting from the iHeartMedia and Entertainment Studios. Glad to have you along. Facebook Live, the viewers are increasing now. Those of you listening on AM 1240, thank you for joining us. Brian Main, John Begnasco, Tiger Palafox. Got to get to the quote of the week, and then our guest will be with us, John, the quote, which is a rather interesting one this week, as they always are.
By the way, I also wanted to thank everyone who wished me a happy birthday on Facebook. I tried to answer everybody, but if I missed you, I want you to know I really appreciate it.
And if he did miss you, just let him know, and he'll, return the favor as far as wishing you a happy birthday. So go ahead and flood John at gardenamerica.com. I know that's pretty mean. Go ahead, John.
It's very mean. This quote is from the British actress Penelope Keith, and she said, "I plant a lot of trees. I'm a great believer in planting things for future generations. I loathe the now culture, where you just live for today."
Pretty harsh word, right? Loathe. Not
You
just
know, and I
dislike.
noticed that English people loathe more things than the rest of the world. I just hate things, but
Yeah,
she loathes
but they
them.
loathe them.
Actually, just a quick aside, my daughter sent me a picture of a T-shirt, and she said, "Would would you think this T-shirt was funny, or would you hate it?" And the T-shirt said, "Sometimes I wet my plants," and had a picture of somebody watering their plants. And I thought, so I answered back to her. I said, hate is a strong word.
Yeah.
I think that I would just detest it with extreme prejudice.
I actually saw that very same thing in the front of a garden center.
Right, on one of
yeah,
those change the signs where
the
you can
change. Yeah,
change.
like the church signs, exactly. Tiger Palafox. Let's hear from Tiger and see what's happening with our guest today. And we've already gotten a couple of people who are excited to have you with us.
Yeah, so this morning we're talking with Melissa Canales with Quantum Microgreens, and she's sitting here next to me on the right. And Quantum Microgreens is a local company here in San Diego that not only produces microgreens to eat, like
Right.
as a farm, like
Sure.
crop product, but they also have kits that people can buy and then also do grow their own microgreens at their own home. So, Melissa, thank you for joining us this morning.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so tell us, because if you go onto the website, which is just quantummicrogreens.com, correct?
Correct.
You kind of have a funny story because your schooling, your background isn't necessarily farming or botanical anything. It
Not
was
at
actually a completely different part of science, right?
Absolutely. It's totally different. 10 years ago, nobody would have guessed I'd be sitting here today talking about plants.
What was it that you were studying?
I got my undergrad degree at UC Berkeley, go Bears, in astrophysics. So totally different.
Oh.
Not even on this planet.
Astrophysics.
Hey, and you know what? Women in astrophysics have been in the news a lot this past week because there was a all-woman moonwalk this past week, and one of them was from UCSD.
Yeah,
A Michael Jackson moonwalk, right?
And I think it was a spacewalk.
Spacewalk.
Not a moonwalk.
Spacewalk. Yeah.
We've only had one moonwalk. So.
Yeah.
Or were there two? Maybe there were two.
Oh no, there were several.
Yeah, they had a whole Humvee
from
up
like
there.
69 to 72.
Did two or three?
Yeah, there were several. Yeah, and then the aliens chased them off the moon. That's why we've never been back.
Okay.
So she never got to the moon, but Melissa did study astrophysics, and then now you're working with microgreens.
Yeah, totally did. And in between there, I studied law and practiced law and became a lawyer. So I had quite a circuitous route to becoming a farmer.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your greatest achievement, appearing on our show.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about microgreens, them as a whole. So microgreens are a crop that we use to eat. And, a lot of people will think of them as just smaller, immature plants or immature crops, right?
Exactly.
But tell us a little bit more about what they are and why there's such a benefit. Rather than growing it out to fruition, why is it that we stop them early?
Well, I was thinking about the quote that was just said by Penelope, what was her last name?
Penelope Keith.
Penelope Keith about the now culture.
Right.
I would say microgreens are a plant for the now culture.
Get it done. Let's get it quick.
Exactly. You can start growing them and be eating them within about a week.
Wow.
So they're a crop of plant, like you said, immature plants that you just eat right away. The flavor is pretty intense. The nutrition is very superior to mature plants. And it's got some texture and some color to really enhance the foods that you eat on a daily basis.
So what about if you were to leave them to get mature? Would the taste change? Or are you saying they're already mature within a week?
Well, they're mature microgreens.
Okay.
Yeah, but they are immature plants.
Okay.
So if you were to leave the plants in the ground and plant them like you'd typically plant a plant, you'd put a broccoli seed in the ground and you'd wait 90 days or so and you'd have broccoli. So yeah, it's the same seed that you would use to grow a full-grown plant. The method that you grow them is slightly different, so that you peak them at about 9 or 10 days.
That's got the radish beat by 3 weeks, John.
It does. It does.
Good.
Now, one thing that's always fascinated me about microgreens is you think of, because they're leafy, right? You're eating leaves or cotyledons, and you always think you're going to have a lettuce type taste or something, but don't a lot of the microgreens actually taste like the vegetable or fruit that they become?
Exactly. It's a big surprise for people to taste the microgreen and like really capture the sheer amount of flavor in such a small package. So the like for example a broccoli microgreen. If you're going to taste the broccoli microgreen, it's going to taste like a broccoli floret. So your typical broccoli on your plate that you steamed or put cheese on or whatever you do with your broccoli, as opposed to if you were to take that same full-grown broccoli leaf and munch on that, it has a different flavor than the floret, and the microgreen tastes like the floret and not a typical broccoli leaf. So a radish microgreen tastes like the bulb of a radish and not necessarily radish leaves. I brought some mustard today. If you can see,
Those
if
are
you're
all
watching.
mustard?
No, the one on the far one is
The far
mustard.
one right next, closer to me.
Closer to
Okay.
you is mustard, and that one is very surprising for people, especially non-vegetable eating people, because it tastes just like the deli mustard that you'd put on your sandwich. So
Really?
it has that horseradishy, spicy flavor, as
Why don't
opposed.
you try that, Brian?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what?
Dig right in.
We're gonna go to a break, and I will. I promise. I will. Just grab a few and just eat them right
I know
off.
you hate to
Exactly.
chew things when you're on air, right? Because you can't
yeah.
enunciate.
It's like
get
it's
all
like
choked
drinking
up.
milk. You don't want to drink milk when you're on the air either. Things like that. We've got a few seconds here. So we're gonna pause, take a break, and come back, and I will sample the. What am I sampling again? The
Mustard. And what's in the middle there?
The middle one is radish.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to come back and sample the mustard, and then, but the rest of them, can we eat the rest of them as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Everything here
raise
is ready to
away.
go. Just raise away. So we're going to step aside, take a break. Facebook Live, and of course, Biz Talk Radio. Brian Main, John Bagnaska, Tiger Palafox. We're going to come right back, and we're going to sample some things. And if I'm still here after the break, you know just how good everything is. Coming back with Garden America on your Saturday morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, I'm sure you've heard of me. I'm everyone's favorite day of the week, Saturday. Yes, you're welcome. And as if I wasn't already popular enough, now every Saturday, a 6-inch meatball marinara is just $3.99 at Subway restaurants. It's the sub of the day, and it's a different 6-inch sub each day for $3.99. But it's not a popularity contest. Okay, it totally is. Subway, make it what you want. At participating restaurants, additional charge for extras, plus applicable tax. No additional discounts or coupons may be applied.
Looking for a safe and natural organic fertilizer for your yard and garden? Fertilome is now offering natural and organic fertilizers for all your fertilizing needs. Roses, flowers, vegetables, herbs, fruit trees, palms, and more. Natural Guard organic fertilizers are a certified listed product for organic use and safe to use around your family and pets. Always read the label and ask for Natural Guard by Fertilome Organic Fertilizers at Dixie Line Lumber or your favorite independent nursery. Make your piece of the planet a healthier place to live by using Natural Guard by Fertilome.
Hi, this is gardening expert Melinda Myers. Keeping the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite slow-release nitrogen fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 10 weeks. The non-burning, non-leaching formula provides a slow and consistent flow of nutrients. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for over 90 years. Milorganite for better results. Visit milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
Taco Bell's nacho fries are the taste sensation sweeping the nation.
Melt of your cheese brought me to my knees. You got me begging, baby, please don't leave.
And now you can experience the Mexican spices and warm nacho cheese sauce live from your house with Taco Bell delivery. Go to TacoBell.com and get nacho fries delivered today. Available at participating locations for a limited time only. Delivery service and small order fees will apply.
Hi, this is Brian Main inviting you to join me, along with John Bagnasco and Tiger Palafox, for a springtime garden adventure to Slovenia, Austria, and Prague. Our journey starts near the shores of Lake Bled. Nestled in the lower Alps, Lake Bled is one of the prettiest spots on the planet. This is also our jumping off point to explore valleys bursting with wildflowers inside the Julian Alps National Park, and so much more. For details and the complete itinerary, visit gardenamerica.com or earthboundexpeditions.com.
How do you explain the joy of getting any size soft drink for just $1 from McDonald's? Well, it's like...
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, like that. Get $1 any size soft drink from McDonald's. Joy included. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
If this were just any door, and this were just any ignition, connected to just any transmission, in just any vehicle, then perhaps it would be okay to buy it from just anyone. But this is not just any car. It's a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. Every detail has been inspected and road tested by highly skilled Mercedes-Benz technicians, and it's all backed by an unlimited mileage warranty, which makes the decision of where to buy one simple. Your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. The certified pre-owned sales event going on now through October 31st. Come in today and enjoy a credit of up to $1,500 towards your first 2 payments through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Because in the end, it's absolute confidence in genuine Mercedes-Benz parts, or it isn't. It's either Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned, or it isn't.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on credit towards your first 2 months' payment and certified pre-owned warranties.
Coming back when?
We're coming back now, John. That was John Bagnasco there. And got to remind John, we are back on the air. Tiger Palafox, I'm Brian Main, 35 minutes after the hour. And we're going to continue. For those just joining us, Tiger, please reintroduce our guest as we're going to do some tasting here on Garden America.
Yeah, so this morning we have Melissa Canales with Quantum Microgreens, and we're talking about how to grow microgreens, with the benefits of microgreens, varieties of microgreens as well. And, you know, during the commercial break, Brian and I were picking through them. We tasted the mustard one, which is where he's going right now.
Yes, I'm going right now because it's interesting. When you first taste it, it's like eating grass, and then about 5 to 10 seconds, it sneaks up on you, and it's like you said, mustard. It's like a very nice, expensive mustard taste.
And then the one with the red stems here also is a radish, you were saying. And do you know the variety of radish that is?
It's a red arrow.
Red arrow, and it was great. And it was
tastes
spicy.
exactly like a radish. All of these. This is like Dijon mustard or horseradish.
Exactly. And then
wonderful.
This one closest to Melissa here has a purple stem, and that was a cabbage.
Yeah, it's a red cabbage.
A red cabbage, which during this time of year you're seeing red cabbage, pop up all over. So yeah, I mean, mustard, radish, cabbage. What other plants do they use for microgreens?
Oh, sky's the limit. There are so many different varieties of microgreens you can grow. I grow arugula, amaranth, broccoli, kale, kohlrabi. Let me just keep going. Peppercress. I could put a list out there, but almost whatever you can think about, if it's an edible plant you can eat, it's a very good chance you can microgreen it.
Now, obviously, they taste good on their own, but I was talking during the break about a sandwich. You put some of these in a sandwich with everything else, your favorite meats or whatever, and it's going to be fantastic.
Well, Brian, you
my
had
head's
that
exploding.
failed business with macrogreens, and you were trying to sprout coconuts, and it just didn't work.
So I went to the micro.
Yeah.
The macro, I couldn't. It just didn't work. I wish you wouldn't bring that up, John. That was an embarrassing time in my life.
So we were also talking about because this is something that you start and it's ready in about a week. There's also a time frame, as we were talking, that these are all. This is a radish. This is a cabbage. This is a mustard. Eventually they can turn into these plants. So there's a time frame that you have to use it by before it changes the flavor, changes all the values of it, right? So I know for each one it's different, you were saying, but give it a little insight as far as what people need to watch out for with that.
Well, typically with a microgreen, we're talking about the first 2 leaves after a seed germinates.
First 2 leaves?
The first 2 leaves, depending on the type of plant. If you're doing an onion microgreen, you're just going to have 1 leaf. But that's the typical microgreen stage. Some people will say it's the first 2 leaves plus the first true leaf, which would be about the 3rd leaf that comes out. And once you go past that stage, you're really entering the baby leaf stage. And the flavor profile will change from the microgreen flavor profile to the baby green flavor profile. So you tend not to get the same type of intensity that you'd get at the microgreen stage once you pass that stage. So yes, you want to eat it before it grows out of the micro stage.
So there's a small window of time?
There is a small window of time.
Okay, John, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask if the nutrient value changes in that small period of time.
It's hard to say. I tend to geek out through the studies that are coming out on microgreens as best as I can. Even going to the library and trying to find some of those academic journals to see what's being written about it. And there are more and more studies on microgreens, good scientific studies coming out, looking at the profiles, the nutrients, the minerals profiles of different microgreens. That being said, it's hard to find the exact, I haven't seen a red arrow radish nutrient profile. I've seen China rose radish nutrient profile. So when we kind of talk about what the nutrition is on the microgreens, we can only really talk about what studies have actually been out there that are good, that are analyzing the particular type of microgreen that you're growing. On a whole, the studies seem to show there are between 4 and 40 times the amount of nutrients in the micro stage than the mature stage.
Wow, that seems almost like against nature, because you think that something that was only around for a week in a seed form wouldn't have a chance to bring in all those minerals and nutrients, but yet something that's been around for 90 days, you would think had a chance to absorb all that stuff, the sunlight, the soil nutrients and things like that. But
yeah, but after 90 days, you're going to be eating 1 cabbage, right?
Yeah.
But if microgreens, you could be eating 100 cabbages.
That's true,
so
right?
That's why you get more.
Yeah. No, that's and so for the most part, you use a microgreen to enhance the flavor of something else that you're using, in the sense of, like, we're talking about mustard,
right? Like a spice or
you
something.
You throw that on a sandwich rather than putting possibly mustard on your sandwich,
yes.
Or the radishes. If you have a plated meal, rather than throwing radishes on your plate, you throw these microgreens to dress it and then enhance the flavor. I mean, aside from the nutrient value and stuff like that, but that's kind of a more primary reason to use a microgreen, or no?
Yeah, that's one way. I mean, we've been trained, I guess, for the last couple of years that microgreens are garnishes, because that's pretty much how we've seen them at a plate in a restaurant. And I think that we're lucky today that there are more and more microgreen farmers out there, and there are even places you can find microgreens in grocery stores. I know Trader Joe's sells a little microgreens. So people are getting used to microgreens, and that you can actually use more of them. You don't have to garnish your plate with microgreens. You can actually use microgreens as
salads, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, as a part of your meal.
Yeah.
It can be a regular part of your meal and not just a treat that you get at a restaurant.
And what a waste if you're just using it to garnish and nothing else. I mean, make it part of what you're eating. Exactly. I mean, after tasting this is fantastic.
Well, the way I look at it, too, is like cilantro. People think cilantro is a garnish, but in Hispanic food, they use a lot of cilantro through the whole meal.
Yeah,
and it's not just a garnish. So, you can use the microgreen in that same way as you would cilantro in kind of Hispanic foods as well. Now microgreens, culturally, do you know, I'm putting you on the spot here, Melissa. Like, I mean, is this something that's kind of indigenous to one region or another, or is this kind of all over the place? Is it just in the United States?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
well, it's relatively new that people.
That's what I was going to say. This isn't
microgreens,
because if you look at the history of food, you don't hear about this through other meals or anything like that.
I think
this
it's
isn't
something
in the French
that
culinary.
vegans started because when people decide to become a vegan, they realize they have nothing to eat. So
Yeah, exactly.
maybe let's do some microgreens. Melissa, I was wondering, is there a difference between what we call sprouts and what we call microgreens?
Yeah, you're
That was
hitting
good, John.
you're hitting the nail on the head, because I think one of the reasons we see more microgreens now and not sprouts is because sprouts have got a bit of a bad rap from the various, I guess, foodborne illnesses
Right.
that have happened, or at
Right.
least people know about these foodborne illnesses from sprouts. Sprouts are grown in water, essentially, and in the dark, and you eat the little root and you eat the little leaves that are starting to come out. And sprouts you'd eat in about 3 days, sprouting them. Microgreens are a little bit different because they are exposed to light. So they're older. You eat the stem and the leaves, and you don't eat the root of the microgreen.
Oh.
So microgreens don't have that same concerns with foodborne illness that sprouts have had in the past. So more microgreens today, less sprouts.
That makes sense.
How much time do we have before our next break, Brian?
We've got about 3-4 minutes. We're good.
Okay.
Looking good, yeah.
When we get back, though, you guys do have a kit that you sell on your website, right?
Yes.
Which, a lot of people, if they want to grow these at home, is it as simple as just growing them in a pot and then harvesting them kind of a thing? Because, 1 week for a turnaround on a crop, that might be a little excessive if you're just growing them in a flat or a potted terracotta pot or something like that. So I'm sure there's a little bit of a process. And then when we were talking even before the show, this is something that people can grow in their kitchen. You had said sometimes you don't even need light. A week turnaround, it can grow. You don't even need light to grow these things. So pretty much anyone, anywhere can grow a microgreen any time of year, right?
Yes, they're extremely accessible. All you need is a little attention. I think
Okay.
attention is the make or break on whether or not you're going to be successful with microgreens. I do sell a kit. You grow exactly what you see here. If you're looking at what we're doing here, a small tray of microgreens, the same thing I sell at markets. And my kit is small because you don't need to have the type of even light that you would need if you wanted to grow a huge flat of microgreens. So you can grow microgreens indoor as long as you stay small, even if you just have a desk lamp. Even if you're in Alaska in the wintertime and there's
And you keep
very
your house
little sun.
relatively warm.
Yeah. Your temperature, if you're comfortable, your microgreens will be comfortable. It's pretty much the tip to think about. And then, just indoors or at your office in your cubicle, as long as there's sufficient light and you're comfortable, you can read a book, your microgreens will probably be successful, with the caveat that you grow the right varieties. There are some very difficult varieties of microgreens to grow, and I do not recommend somebody start off with those.
We got to take a break.
Yeah,
Hold
so
that
when
thought.
we get back, we'll talk about those varieties and then how to grow from the kit.
We'll continue here on Facebook and Biz Talk Radio. Stay with us as we're going to take a break and come right back.
If this were just any door, and this were just any ignition, connected to just any transmission, in just any vehicle, then perhaps it would be okay to buy it from just anyone. But this is not just any car. It's a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. Every detail has been inspected and road tested by highly skilled Mercedes-Benz technicians, and it's all backed by an unlimited mileage warranty, which makes the decision of where to buy one simple. Your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. The certified pre-owned sales event going on now through October 31st. Come in today and enjoy a credit of up to $1,500 towards your first 2 payments through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Because in the end, it's absolute confidence in genuine Mercedes-Benz parts, or it isn't. It's either Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned, or it isn't.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on credit towards your first 2 months' payment and certified pre-owned warranties.
Hi, this is Brian Main inviting you to join me, along with John Bagnasco and Tiger Palafox, for a springtime garden adventure to Slovenia, Austria, and Prague. Our journey starts near the shores of Lake Bled, nestled in the lower Alps. Lake Bled is one of the prettiest spots on the planet. This is also our jumping off point to explore valleys bursting with wildflowers inside the Julian Alps National Park, and so much more. For details and the complete itinerary, visit gardenamerica.com or earthboundexpeditions.com.
Hi, this is gardening expert Melinda Myers. Keeping the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite slow-release nitrogen fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 10 weeks. The non-burning, non-leaching formula provides a slow and consistent flow of nutrients. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for over 90 years. Milorganite for better results. Visit milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
Looking for a safe and natural organic fertilizer for your yard and garden? Fertilome is now offering natural and organic fertilizers for all your fertilizing needs. Roses, flowers, vegetables, herbs, fruit trees, palms, and more. Natural Guard organic fertilizers are a certified listed product for organic use and safe to use around your family and pets. Always read the label and ask for Natural Guard by Fertilome Organic Fertilizers at Dixie Line Lumber or your favorite independent nursery. Make your piece of the planet a healthier place to live by using Natural Guard by Fertilome.
Taco Bell's nacho fries are the taste sensation sweeping the nation.
Melt of your cheese brought me to my knees. You got me begging, baby, please don't leave.
And now you can experience the Mexican spices and warm nacho cheese sauce live from your house with Taco Bell delivery. Go to TacoBell.com and get nacho fries delivered today. Available at participating locations for a limited time only. Delivery service and small order fees will apply.
No one ever plans on being in an accident, but that car ran the light. And my accident left me with so many questions. Do I have the best medical care? What about my job, my car, insurance? I gotta call the Barnes firm. That was the best call I could have made.
At the Barnes firm, we've handled thousands of accident cases. Our team works to answer all of your questions and help each client get the best result possible.
Attorney John Sheehan is responsible for the content of this advertisement. West Broadway, San Diego.
The most anticipated new show of the fall is Batwoman, only on the CW. New episodes Sundays at 8, 7 Central, or stream anytime on the free CW app. This is the role she was born to play. Yes, I'm talking about Ruby Rose. Batwoman, only on the CW.
Pros know there's a lot more to a tile job than tile. But here's something even pros don't know. The Home Depot's just lowered prices on tile essentials. Grout, mortar, backer board, sponges, everything a pro needs to do the job. And know this, we won't be beaten on flooring prices, guaranteed. Well, what do you know about that? New lower prices on tile essentials for the pro, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only.
Back here on Garden America, it is 51 minutes after the hour. Final segment of our show, of course, 2 hours. So at 6 minutes after the hour, those on the East Coast in the afternoon, we'll be back with hour number 2. And for the rest of us across the country, same thing. One more segment to go as we are learning a lot about things that are micro today.
Yeah, I played with a lot of micro machines when I was a kid, but
this is something else. I'm very impressed with the taste. You know, sometimes you there's barely a taste, or I kind of see. There's no doubt what you're eating.
Well,
no doubt at all.
I feel like by looking at it, I would be tasting soil.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're not at
all.
all.
No, not at all. We got a great horseradish mustard taste, and the The other one,
Radish.
the radish is right there, and then the
cabbage.
cabbage.
Yeah.
as
Now, what
well.
about potatoes? Have you ever done potatoes? Because I think that's how they make microchips.
Nah.
You've been waiting for that one all hour, haven't you, John?
You know,
He wrote that.
unfortunately, that just came to me.
So, Melissa, Quantum Microgreens, on your guys' website, you have a kit. What's included in the kit, and why is it that they need those items?
So the kit has everything you need to grow a small batch of microgreens using a seed that is most likely to be very successful to you. Why would you buy the kit? I think one of the hardest things to do when you're growing microgreens is to know how much seed to use and how much soil to use. So primarily the kit makes that a no-brainer. It's pre-measured for you already, and I've already picked out the types of seeds that are easy in terms of growing microgreens. You can grow broccoli, radish, mustard, and red cabbage are the varieties I sell.
And unlike, true gardening, any time of year.
Any time
you
of year.
could be growing broccoli in July.
Absolutely. Any time of year. And as long as you are comfortable, the plants will be comfortable. So generally, if it's over 95 degrees in your house, you probably want to wait until it cools down a little bit. Or if it's, freezing, you don't want to grow microgreens. But any sort of human comfortable temperature inside your home is a good place to grow microgreens. The kit has all the directions you need, which is one of the harder things for microgreens too, because it's not like a typical plant. You don't put one seed in soil and then water it. Instead, you do a bit of a microgreen dance. You keep them in the dark for a little while, you mist them for a bit, and then once they grow a little bit older, you're going to be uncovering it, and then you're going to be more traditional watering. So really in the kit, it just gives you all the directions you need, everything you need, just add water to be successful.
Hey, what about for kids? Because they grow so fast, and kids are impatient, and you can put these in within a week, and I don't know if they would, gravitate toward eating something that's like a salad, but do you know of kids, families, anybody that's glommed onto this?
Yeah, absolutely. I've definitely sold to youngsters.
Yeah, okay.
And they enjoy growing it because it's pretty easy to do and
and quick. It's fast.
It's very quick, and it's also pretty mind blowing to taste. Say the broccoli microgreen and remember what broccoli tastes like. To go, oh, I know that flavor. I know that you do know that flavor.
Sure.
It's broccoli, so it's a really fun experience with kids to experience flavors in different textures.
Right.
In different packages than they're used to seeing.
Yeah, it's not a broccoli floret like you're talking about. This is just a leaf that tastes like broccoli.
And kids love small things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we talked about before, when they're involved in it, they feel like that they're responsible for the growth. That makes a big difference.
And they're more open to trying it.
Sure,
because they've seen it.
Right. Get them away from the grocery store for a while.
And things happen before their eyes. So that, they can
exactly.
see the seed starting to germinate, and then they can see it start to grow. And you can see the color change from when it goes from dark to exposed to the light. So it's really fun, a good learning experience for kids.
And great for some of the school systems that they can do this. This is a great project.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I think growing your own is such a good idea because you can adapt the quantity you grow to your lifestyle, how you use them. Where if you go to the store or you buy something already growing, you only have a few days it's got to be used.
That's
it might
exactly
be more
right.
than you would use or less than you would use. But once you're growing your own, it's pretty easy to keep the amount coming at the rate you would use them.
And it's so quick, unlike, when you're growing a tomato plant and you're like, oh, I'm going to wait 90 days and then I'm going to start making things with my tomato plant or pepper plant or squash or whatever it is. This is something that, I'm having a dinner party next week. I'll start them today, and then they'll be ready next week.
That's a good question, too. Are there things you would not use, like tomatoes? Would you use tomatoes? Probably not.
No, I wouldn't use tomatoes because you don't eat the leaves on tomato plants. I wouldn't go around just picking up seeds and microgreening them. I'd be very particular and do a little research to make sure that seed is...
Yeah, because some could even be harmful, I would imagine.
Yeah, like what is it? Tomatoes are part of the solanum, family, and there are some solanums you don't eat. I wonder if it's
Solanaceae, is that the same? Am I thinking?
Yes, like deadly nightshade is in the solanum family.
You had mentioned before the last break also that there are some varieties that are more difficult, more challenging to grow. What are some of those varieties?
Right. I wouldn't start with basil or cilantro.
Okay.
Those two are definitely in the trickier stages. Some of them were herbs like fennel, dill, carrot, the ones that take longer than the initial about a week to grow tend to be harder. There's more time for them to struggle and have issues. But the nice thing about some of the microgreens, though, is if you do happen to start growing them and you go away and you forget to water them, or you didn't pay attention to them for a few days, or life happens, it's not really a big deal because you can just start over.
Yeah, you could. There's 4 weeks in a month. You can have 4 crops.
Yeah,
basically.
it's not like that tomato plant that you started from seed. You go away for a week and it dies. Well, that's months of investment that was just wasted, kind of a thing. Yeah.
Right. And you're not really worried about pests coming through either, especially if you grow it indoors, in your windowsill.
Sure.
You probably don't have a whole lot of pest issues. I grow all of mine in a coconut coir base. So you can grow them with or without, compost or earthworm castings, that extra nutrient. You can grow them in just the coconut coir if you'd like. And that's a lovely base because you can buy it dried and it doesn't take up very much space in your house if you get sort of a compressed coconut coir base. So it's pretty easy to have all the supplies, even in a small studio apartment.
Nice. All right, so quantummicrogreens.com.
Yeah.
You guys have the kit for sale there, but then also you guys are at farmers markets here in San Diego. You're at one today down in Little Italy, selling finished product as well. And do you guys service any kind of restaurants, or is it mostly just people?
And we got about less than 30 seconds, so go ahead.
We do restaurants, but primarily directly to people.
Got it.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, we learned a lot about it. You sure piqued my interest, so we appreciate you joining us this morning here on Garden America.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, we are going to take a break on Biz Talk Radio. We've got news coming up on many of our affiliates. We are back at 6 minutes after hour number 2. And don't forget, after the show today, a podcast. It is part 2 on drip irrigation systems. So until then, again, a 6-minute break. We are coming back 6 minutes after the hour. For those of you back east, it'll be afternoon time. For the rest of us, we'll still be enjoying Saturday morning. I'm Brian Main, John Bagnesco, Tiger Palafox. Again, hour number 2, Garden America, coming up 6 minutes after. Do stay with us.
He does NFL. Meet him. Really nice guy. His name's Preston Johnson. You know him as Sports Cheetah on Twitter. He's a big gambler. Probably the biggest gambler I know. Like, Preston, welcome in. Good morning out here in L.A. I got to say, you probably are the guy who I know who bets more money on games than anybody. I won't try to pin you down because the IRS is listening, but this is your full-time job, right?
Yeah, and it's what I was doing previously until ESPN had started the show Daily Wager. I started writing for them and doing the show as an analyst. But prior to that, I was just solely betting, and been fortunate and blessed to have that opportunity for sure.
Let me ask you real quick: what did the wife say? Because you are married. When you said, you know what, I'm not going to work. I'm just going to sit at home and gamble. Because I did meet another guy recently who just does that, and I just don't know how you convey that to the wife.
It's tough. I think that's one of the main, the proof is in the pudding, right? Like, if I was losing, there's no way it would ever have flown past, a couple of months or even, that first year, right? It just wouldn't happen. So that's one of the things when people say, all right, is he actually winning? He posts some stuff publicly, but do you really know? This wouldn't have flown with my wife had it not been a positive from the get-go. So she's been supportive for sure since then, and I've been lucky for that, too.
And just for the listeners, does your wife work?
She does stuff from home. She works from home.
Wow.
She gets some free
So you guys are all at home all day together. Oh, boy. As someone who worked from home for a lot before coming out here to L.A. for TV and radio, I will just say that's fun, but it can also, you can get on each other's nerves. All right, let's get to the good stuff. NBA preview. Preston is hot on talking about the Brooklyn Nets. I'll just let you have the floor. I did say I have the Nets under. I got 43.5. I don't know. Kyrie disrupting chemistry. Kevin Durant ain't saving the day. I don't love this Nets team this year.
Yeah, I don't like them either. And this actually opened in Las Vegas at 47. And, and I know you're you're pro Celtics, and probably because they lost Kyrie Irving, who's now going to the Nets. I'm going to pull up a stat here, though. This is the most interesting thing for me about the Nets. Last year, of the players on the Nets that played at least 500 minutes and had a positive on-court net rating, here's the list: Ed Davis, Trevion Graham, Damari Carroll, D'Angelo Russell, Shabazz Napier, Jared Dudley, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, and Alan Crabb. What do all those players have in common? They are no longer playing for the Nets. They lost all of their positive impact guys, and a lot of them are under the radar guys that were just decent role players. But even the likes of Joe Harris and Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, those are not.
And welcome back. It is 6 minutes after the hour. Back here broadcasting live from the iHeartMedia studios. I should say iHeartMedia and Entertainment studios here, beautiful Southern California. I'm Brian Main. This is Garden America. We've got Tiger Palafox, John Begnasco. If you saw the first hour, Tiger, John, that was very interesting in terms of these micro herbs?
No, microgreens.
Greens.
I mean, there are some that are herbs. But
right. But these are microgreens. We've got cabbage. We've got the radishes and of course, the mustard, which is it tastes exactly the same. It's not like you have to, chew it up and decide if it tastes like what it is. It is what it is, and they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I was interested to learn the difference between microgreens and sprouts.
That was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah. So sprouts, as Melissa was saying, have a bad name, but on sprouts you eat the roots.
Right.
Where
you don't hear.
Right.
It's the stem and the leaf.
Right.
And
you cut them off, don't eat the roots.
But the fact that it grows within a week, within a week you can have this. It's almost scary.
It fits your attention span, doesn't it?
It sure does. After a week, absolutely, because you know how patient I am.
I know.
Anyway, John at gardenamerica.com. If you have any questions about horticulture, gardening, whatever's on your mind, you can post it right there on Facebook. We've got the Facebook page running on Garden America, and also have the Facebook page running on the Mission Bay High School alumni page right now. So welcome to those new viewers on Facebook.
I was just talking with someone yesterday that they were going to their 30th high school reunion for Mission Bay.
Really?
Yeah.
I went to mine last September 28th of this year.
Okay.
It was fun.
Was it Mission Bay? Yeah.
A lot of great people, a lot of great memories.
I've only been to one high school reunion.
And that was recently.
It was recently. It was my 50th, right?
And you said that you met somebody that you went to school with, a girl, now a woman, of course, and you said she hasn't changed a bit, looked every bit as good as she did.
I thought she was somebody's daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at his eyes. Look at that. Now, is this somebody that you had a little thing for in high school?
Oh.
She was out of my league in high school.
She was a first-round draft choice?
But so was the majority of my classmates.
Oh, man.
So were the majority of my classmates.
Yeah, and that was in Michigan. What was your high school, John?
North Farmington High School.
And your mascot,
your mascot?
Team name?
Raiders.
You're the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like a Buccaneer Raider?
Like
Pirate Raider?
Like the Oakland Raiders?
Yes.
Yeah.
That type.
The exact same thing. Okay, so if you want to bypass Facebook, you can email John and us here, gardenamerica.com, John at gardenamerica.com, or Facebook. If you're watching Facebook right now, post your questions, your comments. I've got a different page up. Do you have a page up, Tiger?
No, I don't.
John, you've got our page up,
Yep.
right? So you can monitor if we have any questions.
Hey,
right, I do. And also, just to remind people, if you do send me an email to john@gardenamerica.com, we won't answer it because you're listening to a rebroadcast of this show.
We can still
So
answer
I
it.
would have to answer it during the week if I get around to it.
You've got me confused.
No, but if somebody's watching Facebook Live and
Yeah,
send you an email,
Facebook
they
I
Live.
know, but if you're on Facebook Live, just post
some
it.
people
just-
don't.
yeah,
some
just-
people don't do it though.
Yeah, but just if you want to, just post your question on Facebook Live. We will answer it and get as deep as you want to. We like that. After
Hey.
the show, go ahead, Tiger.
I got a question for you. If you were to grow a microgreen,
Yes,
weekly,
yes,
always having it,
wow, that's a lot of work every day, keeping it up every week.
right?
No.
What would it be? What would you use? What would you use?
The radish and the mustard, absolutely.
You would use that every week. You would somehow incorporate that into a meal.
I would find a way. Salad. I would make tacos.
Yeah.
Well, your comment
sandwiches.
earlier, on sandwiches, you would use the mustard.
Absolutely, use the
Rather
mustard.
than mustard, right?
You wouldn't need it.
Right.
Now, I would have to have something moist on the bun. I do like
You
A
mayo?
little bit of mayo.
a little bit of mayo is all you need, and then you sprinkle in, the mustard in, and then you've got it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how good these taste.
Right.
It's
Right.
amazing.
No. Yeah.
Now, what about hot dogs? Would you put those mustard greens on hot dogs?
Why not?
Yeah, I like
Why
a little
not?
bit of
That-
leafy green on a hot dog. It makes me feel like I'm eating at least something healthy.
And if somebody said, "Hey, well, you're putting that? What's that on your hot dog?" Say, just take a bite,
Yeah.
and they'd go, "Where's that mustard come from?" Right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
But that's a good point. At least you're eating something healthy on a hot dog.
Something healthy on a hot. And these are fantastic. And again, a week.
What was it that Melissa said about the nutrient value in those microgreens? She said 4 to 400 times.
She was saying that they're trying to do research on them, and there's not a lot of very conclusive evidence, but they're finding that the microgreen does have substantially more nutrients than the finished product.
Right.
And we were talking about that, and I was shocked by that.
Yeah.
But it makes sense when you think about it down the line.
Maybe it was 4 to 40 times. All I remember was a lot. It was shocking.
So,
Yes.
after the show, we are going to be talking irrigation on the podcast.
Right.
Today, part of our series, we're going to be talking about pop-up sprinklers.
Yeah.
So the different styles of pop-up sprinklers, where and why and how you would use pop-up sprinklers and not drip or soaker tubing. And then little tips and tricks for if you have pop-up sprinklers, using them to the most efficient way. Because there's a lot of things you can do if your system is currently not efficient. There's a lot of things, really simple changes that you can make to make it efficient and make it 100% better than what it is.
Sure. And that's going to be our podcast following this show, which you can also watch on Facebook Live. I'll post it on my page and, of course, on Garden America. You can, if you listened last week, then you're going to be up to date. But we'll do a review of what we talked about last week. Because,
Well, last week we did drip irrigation.
Right.
And what if somebody wants, how do they find that, right?
Well, you can actually go to our YouTube channel. Glad you asked that, John. Garden America Radio on YouTube. When you get there, please subscribe to our channel. every podcast, every show posted on our YouTube channel. So if you missed last week's drip irrigation, you can catch up. And the best part about it, no commercials, fast forward, rewind, take your mouse and put it anywhere you want to within the show, and you sit back, relax, and get educated and hopefully entertained.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff. So, yeah.
So it is open question time here. If you have any questions on Facebook Live on anything we've talked about prior, or you have any questions about what's going on, it's fall, so we probably should lean a little bit about what people should be doing now, Tiger John, in the fall to prepare for spring.
This is a difficult time of year for me in Southern California.
You're caught between two...
Well, because it's fall, and you want to plant fall crops, but next Monday, we're going to have Santa Ana's, and the temperature in Fallbrook's going to be 92, 94.
Are we going up and down again with the weather?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, this is, I think, in San Diego County, it's been the mildest October we've had in a long time so far.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, but you know what? I will take that 85 in Santa Ana and delay myself planting my fall veggies because I know I will be able to. I know that come November, I'll be able to plant my fall veggies. The people back east that just got that winter storm, that like nor'easter thing that they just got, that's just got to be absolutely horrendous, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel so bad for them. I mean, power knocked out, and it's October.
By the way, people who, I don't know if I should name a specific retailer, so I won't mention Home Depot. But if you want to plant vegetables and you go in there and you're seeing tomatoes and peppers.
Peppers.
You have as close to 0% a chance of being successful planting those now.
And I like John's advice. When you see it, run as fast as you can.
No. Hey, if you have the drive to spend $2.99 on a pepper plant right now, just send it to Garden America.
Yeah.
Just go ahead right now. We will take it off your hands for you if you're willing to do that. Just send it to Garden America.
What are we going to do with it?
We'll
put it to better use than they will.
It'll be in our general fund, and perhaps that person may get something in return later on.
If you want to buy those vegetables, the cheapest way of buying them would be to buy them and then leave them there. Don't bring them home, because then you won't waste money on water, fertilizer, sprays.
And Home Depot can recycle your money right back into the cash register.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, 15 minutes after the hour, questions, comments, fall planning. So what should somebody be doing if they want this? It's fall. Winter is December 22nd, I think. So.
Oh, you had mentioned earlier that you just got in at your nursery a new selection of seeds.
Right.
And you mentioned Renee's. And Renee's is one of the things they do a really good job on is sweet pea seeds.
Yep.
And I don't know if they still have it, but they had a sweet pea variety that was called Mary Lou Hurd. And do you remember, did you ever meet Mary Lou?
No.
She owned Hurd's Country Nursery, I think was the name of it, in Westminster.
Uh-huh.
And it was in an industrial area.
Okay.
And
kind of like an Annie's Annuals kind of a thing, where you're in the middle of a place, neighborhood you do not want to be in.
And what she was famous for was growing plants that people didn't think grew in Southern California. For instance, she was the first person to popularize clematis or clematis, depending on how you pronounce them.
All right.
Prior to her, hardly anyone ever grew them. They just said they don't grow here. And when she died, she was working with peonies.
Oh, I would love if she was
different
able to do
peony
that.
varieties.
We still don't have.
And she had some that, I don't know what the varieties were, but she had some that did pretty well here.
Yeah.
We got to take a break, John. Hold that thought. Coming up with our first break. We're going to come back. Questions, comments, you're on Facebook or john@gardenamerica.com. And again, he'll get back to you whenever he can. But commercial break coming up. We're going to come right back. Stay with us here. Weekend with Garden America.
Looking for a safe and natural organic fertilizer for your yard and garden? Fertilome is now offering natural and organic fertilizers for all your fertilizing needs. Roses, flowers, vegetables, herbs, fruit trees, palms, and more. Natural Guard organic fertilizers are a certified listed product for organic use and safe to use around your family and pets. Always read the label and ask for Natural Guard by Fertilome Organic Fertilizers at Dixie Line Lumber or your favorite independent nursery. Make your piece of the planet a healthier place to live by using Natural Guard by Fertilome.
Hi, this is Brian Main inviting you to join me along with John Begnasco and Tiger Palafox for a springtime garden adventure to Slovenia, Austria, and Prague. Our journey starts near the shores of Lake Bled, nestled in the lower Alps. Lake Bled is one of the prettiest spots on the planet. This is also our jumping off point to explore valleys bursting with wildflowers inside the Julian Alps National Park, and so much more. For details and the complete itinerary, visit gardenamerica.com or earthboundexpeditions.com.
Hi, this is gardening expert Melinda Myers. Keeping the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite slow-release nitrogen fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 10 weeks. The non-burning, non-leaching formula provides a slow and consistent flow of nutrients. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for over 90 years. Milorganite for better results. Visit milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
Taco Bell's nacho fries are the taste sensation sweeping the nation.
Melt of your cheese brought me to my knees. You got me begging, baby, please don't leave.
And now you can experience the Mexican spices and warm nacho cheese sauce live from your house with Taco Bell delivery. Go to TacoBell.com and get nacho fries delivered today. Available at participating locations for a limited time only. Delivery service and small order fees will apply.
Great. You just spent another $10,000 on one billboard that people don't even notice anymore. You should be advertising where your customers are, in the back of rideshare cars. Introducing Surf. They put large screen tablets in rideshare cars so passengers can listen to their favorite music and podcasts from iHeartRadio, and so you can promote your business to an engaged, captive audience. Get started today for a fraction of the cost with ridewithsurf.com/radio. Stop wasting money and start finding your next customers with Surf at ridewithsurf.com/radio.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the all-new Pit Smoked Brisket. How would you like it?
I'll take a man who knows what's what.
Y'all know what? The all-new Pit Smoked Brisket at Subway is smoked slower than a slug going up a down escalator, that's what. I'm talking tender, juicy brisket, naturally pit smoked for at least 13 hours. What's more, it's got layer after layer of smoky flavor. Smoked cheddar and barbecue sauce on delicious Italian bread. Subway, make it what y'all want, what not. Limited time only at participating restaurants.
Okay, it is 21 minutes after the hour. Sometimes the in-between commercial breaks are more entertaining than the show. Just want to say that. So as you see us talking and kibitzing during the break. Okay, Facebook Live questions, comments, and, of course, John at GardenAmerica.com. If you're patient, you can wait for his answer. But get back to your conversation, John, before the break.
Mary Lou Hurd.
Yeah,
right, we were talking about Mary Lou Hurd, who had a retail nursery in Westminster. And there's a rose that Star Roses puts out called Janice Kellogg. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Tiger, but it's kind of a old garden rose look to it. But the first year that came out, it was called Mary Lou Hurd in honor of Mary Lou Hurd, and then they changed the name. And I have one of the first plants still in my garden, and I still call it Mary Lou Hurd rather than the new name.
Right.
Not that Janice Kellogg doesn't deserve a rose, but it, I really don't want her legacy to disappear, and buying those sweet peas is something that would help remind you about her. And a little bit about her is that she married when she was really young, and she quickly became pregnant, and just as quickly, her husband decided to leave her.
Wow.
So she moved to Anaheim, California, got married again, got pregnant again, and her husband left her again.
Oh my goodness!
I see a pattern developing here.
And she just fell apart, ended up in a mental hospital. And as she recuperated, she had, this is where the sweet peas come in, kind of the same type experience that Gregor Mendel had working with sweet peas and being a monk. So you've got sweet peas and God going together. The same thing happened to her. And she had her recovery was involved from growing sweet peas. And her prayer at the time was, God, please let me do this for my life's work. And after she got out of the hospital, she went and started in this area where no one would ever think you'd have a nursery, started growing things and selling them, and opened up a nursery. And pretty soon it became really famous, and people came from all over to buy from her.
What time period are we talking about?
We're talking about, I'm thinking it would have been the late 80s.
Okay, so fairly recent, 30 years or so.
Yeah, not that long ago, 90s. Actually, maybe closer to the 90s, because she died in, I think, 2003 or something. Okay. She was diagnosed with colon cancer. And actually, I posted on Facebook. I guess maybe if you Google Mary Lou Hurd on Facebook, you might come to the posting I have. But I copied a little article that I had wrote about Mary Lou, and she was 57 when she died, which wasn't very old.
No, not at that time, no.
But she had said, she was quoted as saying, just before she died, she's talking to someone, she said that every lesson in life that I've learned, I learned in the garden, even the stillness. She said, I'm not afraid, simply because I walk so closely to God and have learned to trust. I may want total control over the things in my life, but I can't have that. Now I can rest and know that He will give me only what is good for me.
Oh, so that can be the quote of the week every week.
Yeah,
that's good. Well, that's great.
Well, it's I guess that's why I keep the name Mary Lou Hurd on my rose, because I don't want to. I've met her a few times, and she was just a lovely person, and again, all the work that she did with sweet peas, and now you can buy I think variety. You can buy that variety. I don't know. You'll have.
Yeah, I'll have to check with Renee.
A little research. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's fun.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people like that in horticulture, that you look at the plants, but I think it's always good to know the stories behind
the plants. There's a story behind every plant. And
Absolutely.
That's John's next book. There's a story behind every plant.
That'd be a good book.
Well,
Yeah, actually, John, that would be a good book.
When you think of the plant hunters at the turn of the last century, they literally gave their lives to bring us some of the plants that we have today.
And it was definitely not for money.
No.
Well, that's for sure.
Now,
those people.
We got a comment on the very same thing we're talking about right now. Every spring in Orange County, LA area, the Mary Lou Hurd Memorial Garden Tour.
Oh,
and it continues.
They do still have that, right? I think that the nursery itself was after she died, her employees tried to keep it going for a few years, and they didn't do well. They sold it to someone else, and I can't remember the name of that nursery right now, but I think it closed down about 3 or 4 years ago.
And probably the number one reason, a lot of factors go into that, but the passion wasn't there. When she was alive, there was a lot of passion. Yeah. And you know what? When that happens and you leave it to employees or people that work for you, you're going to make it sometimes. Other times, they just don't have what you had to keep it going. Yeah. That's my take on it. You got to be passionate. And just like our viewers, our listeners, and us, we're passionate about what we do and gardening and getting our hands dirty.
But it is interesting. I mean, even today we had the interview with Melissa with Quantum Microgreens, and she was talking about how she came from this science field, quantum mechanics and astrophysics, and
that's where the name of her company came from, because her favorite class was quantum physics.
Right, and and then okay, she went and did that. Obviously, this very intelligent woman that could do pretty much anything, and then I'm just going to become a lawyer then too. And next thing you know, she's growing microgreens out of her house here in San Diego. And and you can tell from it, this is her passion. This is what she loves to do. And, it's kind of a fun
endeavor,
hobby, whatever, it may be. But, it's pretty neat to see.
I've got a story similar to John's in college. Not quite, because you started out, what was your major? Was it chemistry?
My first major was chemistry, right?
And I was astronomy.
Really?
And then, I think I was born to do radio or something like that.
See, I always thought it was astrology, but it was astronomy, huh?
Well, that was back when the moon was in the 7th house, and Jupiter aligned with Mars.
Got
it. Anyway, so I still love astronomy. I still dig it. But I got the radio bug, and I went from that into radio, and then I minored in psychology. So not quite the background.
Well, I switched my major from chemistry to pre-med.
Oh my God! Really?
Yes, to English, to general business administration, to accounting, to horticultural marketing.
Okay, so I'm curious about the pre-med. Was that like, I can't do this, there's just too much studying?
No, it wasn't. I don't think that I was in pre-med long enough to know there was that much studying, which might be the reason that I quickly left it.
When I transferred, I went to the University of Wisconsin to play hockey. So if you were an undeclared major and you played sports, then you became a phys ed major until you decided otherwise. And I had to take kinesiology. And my eyes glazed over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the study of everything that,
it's sports medicine.
Sports medicine, exactly. And I said, you know what, this isn't going to work out. You find, usually you find yourself, but interesting stories. By the way, got to take a break coming up on 30 minutes after the hour. Plenty of time for questions, comments on Facebook Live. As we approach 30 minutes after, as I mentioned, John Bagnasker, Tiger Palafox, Brian Main here on Garden America. Coming back.
Live from State Farm, we have Sharon Flaversham, IT Manager, attempting the 47th of our 100 acts of good. Today's good deed, she will attempt to escort a little old lady across the road. Hands held, elbows interlocked. Steady. Such courage. And they're across.
It's on the board!
Bravo, Sharon, and bravo to all State Farm employees, challenging themselves to get on the board with 100 acts of good.
Looking for a safe and natural organic fertilizer for your yard and garden? Fertilome is now offering natural and organic fertilizers for all your fertilizing needs. Roses, flowers, vegetables, herbs, fruit trees, palms, and more. Natural Guard organic fertilizers are a certified listed product for organic use and safe to use around your family and pets. Always read the label and ask for Natural Guard by Fertilome Organic Fertilizers at Dixie Line Lumber or your favorite independent nursery. Make your piece of the planet a healthier place to live by using Natural Guard by Fertilome.
Taco Day, Taco Day, Taco Day is here. Taco Day, Taco Day, grab a corn tortilla. Hey, Taco Day, it's totally a thing. Taco Day, let the flavor ring.
Celebrate on October 4th with the exclusive National Taco Day gift set filled with 2 crunchy tacos and 2 nacho cheese Doritos Locos tacos for just $5, only at Taco Bell. Contact restaurant for prices and participation which vary. While supplies last. Excludes chicken, steak, and supreme. Tax extra.
Hi, this is gardening expert Melinda Myers. Keeping the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite slow-release nitrogen fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 10 weeks. The non-burning, non-leaching formula provides a slow and consistent flow of nutrients. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for over 90 years. Milorganite for better results. Visit Milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
Hi, this is Brian Main inviting you to join me, along with John Bagnasco and Tiger Palafox, for a springtime garden adventure to Slovenia, Austria, and Prague. Our journey starts near the shores of Lake Bled. Nestled in the lower Alps, Lake Bled is one of the prettiest spots on the planet. This is also our jumping off point to explore valleys bursting with wildflowers inside the Julian Alps National Park, and so much more. For details and the complete itinerary, visit gardenamerica.com or earthboundexpeditions.com.
Looking for a safe and natural organic fertilizer for your yard and garden? Fertilome is now offering natural and organic fertilizers for all your fertilizing needs. Roses, flowers, vegetables, herbs, fruit trees, palms, and more. Natural Guard organic fertilizers are a certified listed product for organic use and safe to use around your family and pets. Always read the label and ask for Natural Guard by Fertilome Organic Fertilizers at Dixie Line Lumber or your favorite independent nursery. Make your piece of the planet a healthier place to live by using Natural Guard by Fertilome.
Attention, the following may contain spontaneous reactions to something surprisingly delicious, also known as the vocal phenomenon, woo.
McDonald's new spicy barbecue glazed tenders and chicken sandwich.
Woo!
Tender, juicy, all white meat chicken. Woo! Covered in a smoky.
Woo!
Mouth-watering. Woo! Barbecue sauce. So delicious, one bite will make you go. Admit it, you just wooed a little bit. McDonald's new spicy barbecue glazed tenders and chicken sandwich. Flavor that makes you go, woo! At participating McDonald's for a limited time.
Matheson Gas, the gas industry leader for over 90 years, is now open in Chula Vista. Matheson Gas is the largest supplier of all gases and welding supplies and carries only the best name brand products at very competitive prices. On propane for all catering trucks, specialty gases for any type of operation, both gas or cylinders, industrial, mil-spec, and tested gases, and everything's available for next day delivery. The trained staff is available to provide you solutions and superb customer service. Visit the new Matheson Gas location in Chula Vista and at mathesongas.com. mathesongas.com.
And back here on Garden America, thank you for viewing us, watching us on Facebook Live. We do appreciate your support. And again, probably the best place for your questions and comments. Tiger Palafox, Brian Main, John Bagnasco, and it is fall, obviously. So I think we tend to talk a little bit about what to do this time of the year. Rick is asking, should we start planting bulbs now, or is it too late?
Oh, that is
and
right now.
Rick
right?
in Idaho, from Washington to Idaho, right, John? Wow. Or Oregon?
No, he was from
Originally
Monrovia, California,
to
Grants Pass, Oregon,
to Idaho. Okay, thank you, Rick. So what about that, guys? About bulbs?
Well, let's see. Is it too late in Idaho? If the ground hasn't frozen, you can go ahead and plant.
Right.
As long as the ground hasn't frozen.
Even if it freezes a week after you plant them?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference as long as you plant them at the depth that you're supposed to plant them.
Okay.
And in Idaho, you don't have to pre-chill anything like you do in Southern California, so you can go ahead and plant tulips, hyacinths directly in the ground and not have to worry about it.
We're still getting some nice shots of the
microgreens.
The microgreens there for those. That was the first hour we had that discussion.
Yeah, we had a comment from Kathy in Eureka and on the microgreens, and she said, thanks for that segment on your show. I've always been fascinated with the concept of growing microgreens. Because of your show, I went to Pinterest for more information and tips. Yeah. And then what was the website from Melissa?
QuantumMicrogreens.com.
Okay.
Quantum Microgreen.
Hey, also, too, during the break, we had a discussion about our newsletter. If you're new to the program or would like to get our newsletter, how do they do that, John?
Good question right now.
Well, that's what we were discussing. We don't know how to do that.
So our website is almost complete. It's been what we call under construction for the past couple of months as we modernize and update everything. And soon everything should be ready to go. So just be a little patient.
That is something where if you did send an email to john@gardenamerica.com and said, I would like to sign up for your newsletter, I can manually do that while we're trying to get this figured out.
That is the best way to do it. And for those because there's always somebody new joining us. What does that newsletter include every week, John?
Well, it comes out every Friday.
Okay.
So 4 times a month. We've got all kinds of garden tips, articles, a little bit about who the guest will be on Facebook that day.
Sure.
And then that guest is on the radio the following week.
And we also, we encourage you to send us pictures. What is growing in your garden? Send us pictures, whether it's
I haven't gotten any pictures from you and Tiger lately.
That's why you posted my hibiscus again.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Thank you. Also on that newsletter, John puts a link to our podcast. Again, if you want to listen to the podcast, it'll take you to the iHeartMedia site. You can listen to the podcast. You can also watch the podcast because all shows and podcasts are on our YouTube page at Garden America Radio Show. So subscribe to our YouTube page. Every show, every podcast, even in last week, that's how quick we are, is up and running.
Now, Lenore, speaking of planting bulbs, mentioned on Facebook that she plants in November here in Southern California, which is just about right.
That's about, yeah.
Because, again, if you buy the bulbs, you do have to chill them for about 6 to 8 weeks in order to get good spring bloom.
I've never worked with bulbs, except light bulbs, of course.
You know, when you plant bulbs in Southern California, it's different than in other parts of the country. Because if I was to plant tulips in Michigan, I would want to plant them, or even Idaho where Rick is, you want to plant them in a full sun area. But in Southern California, it's best if you plant them in a shady area. Because what normally happens is they come up, they bloom, and the day that they open up, we get a Santa Ana wind or a hot wind in Southern California. And if they're in full sun, they just fall apart. So it's a lot of work for a flower that's going to only open up for a day or two.
Yeah.
Well, I like them also as like an underplanting. So, within a bed, if
With trees, you mean?
Yeah.
Under trees?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a great idea.
But yeah, full exposed bed, not a good idea.
You can also, in Southern California, plant daffodils or narcissus.
Yeah.
Because they will naturalize and they'll come back year after year.
But the narcissus think nothing about anything except themselves. That's the only problem with that.
Yeah, they just put in the daffodils.
Funny gardener stuff. When I was growing up, we had a Bermuda lawn in the backyard, and if you have a Bermuda lawn, it goes dormant in the wintertime.
Yeah, brown.
Unless you do an annual rye over the top of it. Well, my dad was never much into putting the annual rye and keeping it green. It
Just
didn't
let it
really
do
matter.
it.
It was just let it go dormant. Well, so what he did was he actually planted a bunch of paper whites in the lawn. So then when we stopped maintaining it in the wintertime, that's when the paper whites would come up, and we wouldn't be mowing it. So therefore we would allow them to grow. You wouldn't mow, and then they would come up and they would bloom in the lawn.
All over the whole.
Yeah.
What would that look like?
It was pretty cool.
Interesting.
It was pretty cool.
Look at John's mind is going.
Well, because in the Midwest, you probably didn't know this, but one thing they used to do in the 50s was you always planted crocus in your lawn.
Crocus.
And they would come up in the spring first thing and bloom before the lawn started growing.
Before you needed to take care of your lawn, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you started to take care of your lawn, they were ready to die back and they would come back the following year. But I was thinking narcissus, your dad would have to put those in new every year because they wouldn't come back every year because narcissus bloom in the fall, not the spring.
No, he didn't put them in new every year. Then, well,
I'm wondering if you're.
Well, how old were you when this was happening?
I was young,
very young.
10.
You may not have been that cognizant when you were that young.
Exactly. But what would have not narcissus, but paper whites naturalize, right?
The paper whites are narcissus,
right?
Right. But when they naturalize, they bloom in the fall, not the spring.
But that's when we're not mowing the lawn.
Well, the lawn's still growing in the fall. It doesn't turn until the weather gets cold.
December, January.
I think this requires further research.
Yeah.
Talk to your dad.
Talk to your dad when you get home. And just say, I didn't pay much attention when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I really don't care what else you have to say, but I would like to know this. Rick.
He's got a question, yeah.
He wanted to know if lilies are considered bulbs. Not only are they considered bulbs, they're true bulbs.
Mm-hmm.
In the truest sense of the word?
Yeah,
and some of the things we call bulbs are actually corms or tubers, like dahlias are tubers, gladiolus are corms. And the difference on a true bulb we've talked about in the show many times is if you cut a true bulb in half, you can see the flower
inside
the bulb.
It's like looking at a little fetus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's interesting. I love that.
Yeah. And it doesn't really make much difference in the way they're planted. That just scientifically how bulbs and corms and roots and tubers
are. Yeah.
Or whatever that word is you were trying to think of.
I know. You see his mind going
I think he
a million
meant,
miles
I think
a
he
minute.
was thinking of classified, but
yeah,
that's the way it goes.
Hey, John, I always turn to you this part of the program. Let's talk about the trip in 2020 to Europe.
Okay, well, I did want, though, to mention to Rick, because he asked if it's too late to plant lilies, and I probably in Idaho would wait till spring to plant lilies, because lilies, being a true bulb, are almost always growing. And it's possible that if he planted them in Idaho, they would start growing and then be killed when they had their first freeze.
Here's a bad segue. Rochelle's watching us from Nashville. Just want to give a shout out to Rochelle in Nashville. She's in Music City.
We said that at the beginning of the show, didn't we? Or did I say that? I might have said that off air.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Rochelle. No matter where you are, you can watch us. Okay, let's finish your thought, John, on that. Then we'll talk about Europe.
I did finish my thought.
Okay.
Lenore, though, since we're talking about bulbs, said that she has lots of daffodils, and every year there's more. So, it's like you were saying, the naturalized tiger.
Yeah.
And she said, and she has lots of anemones and freesias. Now, freesias are something that did not do well in Michigan because they're South African bulbs, and a lot of the South African bulbs do not do well in cold climates. So freesias, ranunculus.
I planted freesias underneath my podocarpus hedge.
You know,
polite golf applause. Hey, we're going to take a break and come back, and we can talk about that, and then our trip to Europe as we approach this break coming up here.
Are we going to Europe?
We're hopefully. You know, that's our goal. Anyway, one more segment coming up here, Facebook Live, Biz Talk Radio. Thank you for joining us. Brian Main, John Bagnasko, Tiger Palafox here on Garden America.
Stock up on everything for fall with specials at Macy's Columbus Day Sale. Update his closet with 60% off Ralph Lauren and Calvin Klein suit separates. And get ready for cooler weather with Martha Stewart Collection quilts and bedding, now 60% off. Plus, check out the Great Shoe Sale, where you get 40% off when you buy 2 pairs. And save 40 to 70% on something special at our Diamond Sale. Don't miss Star Money Days now through October 14th. Savings off sale prices, exclusions apply. More info at Macys.com/starmoney.
Lowe's has the supplies pros like you use most every day. And when the job demands more, we have the quantities needed for any size job at savings you can count on. Because when you buy in bulk, you'll get 30% off select in-stock insulation and get select in-stock drywall panels up to 15% off. Order at lowesforpros.com and have your order delivered to save time. Or pick up in store, where our pro loaders will be ready to load you up so you can get back to the job site faster. For the supplies you need at great savings, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's, U.S. only.
Do shopping online and using public Wi-Fi make you vulnerable to identity theft? Does giving out your social security number put you at risk? Is your dog at risk of identity theft? Yes, yes, and no. Your dog has absolutely nothing to worry about. But we do live in a world that can expose a lot of personal information, and that can lead to having your identity stolen and losing everything you've worked for. That's why at LifeLock we use proprietary technology to detect a wide variety of threats. And unlike free credit monitoring services, we have a dedicated US-based staff to help restore your identity if it ever is compromised. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But if you ask yourself whether you're worth protecting with the best, isn't the answer a resounding yes? Plans start at $9.99 a month, and now you can get 10% off. Go to lifelock.com and use promo code NEWS.
Looking for a safe and natural organic fertilizer for your yard and garden? Fertilome is now offering natural and organic fertilizers for all your fertilizing needs. Roses, flowers, vegetables, herbs, fruit trees, palms, and more. Natural Guard organic fertilizers are a certified listed product for organic use and safe to use around your family and pets. Always read the label and ask for Natural Guard by Fertilome Organic Fertilizers at Dixie Line Lumber or your favorite independent nursery. Make your piece of the planet a healthier place to live by using Natural Guard by Fertilome.
Hi, this is Brian Main inviting you to join me along with John Begnasco and Tiger Palafox for a springtime garden adventure to Slovenia, Austria, and Prague. Our journey starts near the shores of Lake Bled, nestled in the lower Alps. Lake Bled is one of the prettiest spots on the planet. This is also our jumping off point to explore valleys bursting with wildflowers inside the Julian Alps National Park, and so much more. For details and the complete itinerary, visit gardenamerica.com or earthboundexpeditions.com.
Listen up, America. Why in the world would you start your day with an unwrapped, zip-zap, sad sack breakfast mishap when the McDonald's app lets you order, pay, and pick up a nice and hot griddle sizzle breakfast with a tap-tippity-tap? I think I just rhyme answered my own rhyme question. McDonald's mobile order and pay. Just order in the app, pass the line with the tap, and wake up breakfast with McDonald's. Mobile order and pay at participating McDonald's. McDonald's app download and registration required.
You wouldn't use an 18-wheeler to teach your son how to drive. It's too big. And you wouldn't take a family road trip in his toy car. It's too small. But using the Mercedes-Benz Metris cargo van to run your business? Just right. Only the Metris can haul, stow, and tow more than any other van in its class. It has the maneuverability to get through the toughest jobs and fits in your garage, too. And now with 0% financing, it's built around your budget. Because if you can't picture your son behind the wheel of a monster truck or squeezing your family inside a 2-seat convertible, we don't blame you. The only thing you need to picture is where the Metris can take your business. The Mercedes-Benz Metris. With 0% financing and starting at $26,570, it's just right. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
MSRP excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Only valid on 2018 or 2019 Mercedes-Benz Metris vans. Qualified commercial customers only. Offer valid through January 2nd, 2020.
Hi, this is gardening expert Melinda Myers. Keeping the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite slow-release nitrogen fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 10 weeks. The non-burning, non-leaching formula provides a slow and consistent flow of nutrients. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for over 90 years. Milorganite for better results. Visit milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
I would too.
All right, here we go. It is 51 minutes after the hour. Final segment on this Saturday morning. Or if you're listening or watching back east, it is in the afternoon. Happy Saturday afternoon. Happy weekend to you. Back with Tiger Palafox, John Begnasco, Brian Main, having a good time this morning talking about a lot of things as we obviously into the fall months, working our way toward the winter and the end of 2019. John was, before the break, had to interrupt John to go to our break and pay some bills. John, do you want to go back to that conversation as you were pontificating?
Well, you wanted to talk about the trip.
Yes, that's what it was. I wanted you to talk about it because you said.
But I did want to mention, because earlier in the show we were talking about Mary Lou Hurd.
Yeah.
And I was telling Tiger how she had popularized the growing of clematis in Southern California. People never planted them before then. And another thing that she made really popular was lilacs.
Which ones?
Well, just growing lilacs, period. No one would grow lilacs.
Okay.
Even though there were the Descanso hybrids, but
Right.
the Descanso hybrids really became popular after she started growing them.
Okay, so she was kind of influential in developing the Descanso varieties.
Right, but no, she wasn't in developing them. I think just developing popularity by growing those and people seeing that they could grow them. Then she started, I think she started experimenting with regular varieties of lilacs and tried to pick out the ones that did best here. And I mentioned to you she was also working with peonies when she died, but never got a list of the peonies that did well here.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
Yeah. So next year.
Yes, 2020.
And the month would be first 2 weeks of June.
The month would be the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, the very ending, the very end of
May.
The last day.
Into June.
We are going to go to the International Wildflower Festival in the Julian Alps in Slovenia, Lake Bled. And from Slovenia, we're going to go to Austria, and then from Austria, we're going to Prague in the Czech Republic. So it's going to be a great trip. We're going to be
a fairy tale trip is what it is.
It is. If you Google Lake Bled, B-L-E-D, it looks like a fairy tale location. And that's kind of the impression that you get when you visit there. It's like, is this place real? And you love mountains. I don't know why, but...
I'm a mountain guy.
Is that what it is?
I think it is.
I remember when we went to Italy that you just wanted to get into Switzerland.
I wanted to get in there and see and get those Alps.
Yeah.
I had a taste of the Alps. In fact, there's a picture of us. Remember the castle we climbed up to? We did it 2 years in a row.
Right.
And then there's a picture of Dana, my wife, and I, and in the background, which I believe would be geographically Switzerland, you could see the Alps in the background.
That was Switzerland, right?
That's beautiful.
Yeah. But now we will be right in those Alps.
Wow.
Except the Julian Alps, not the Swiss Alps. And there's so many things that we're going to be doing. The trip's going to be just amazing. Besides seeing all the gardens, we'll do some touristy stuff. We'll do beer and wine tasting for Tiger.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a must for me.
I want to be in Europe tasting wine with Tiger and beer.
And then we'll get to visit some castles.
Yeah.
And just do all kinds of fun stuff.
Oh, who doesn't visit a castle once a week, right?
We'll definitely be doing that there. I didn't realize there were so many castles in Europe. So it's going to be fun. Just go to earthboundexpeditions.com and you can look at a day-by-day itinerary.
Yep.
Shows all the hotels we're going to be staying
now,
in.
for the most part, it's inclusive, right, John? When the trip itself.
Yeah, lots of meals are included. All the trip tours are included.
Right.
The transportation is included.
Tips, not transport.
Well,
transportation once you're there.
Once you're there, yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
But you do have to get your own airline ticket, find a way there.
Yeah, just find a way there. Then once you're there, it's all paid for.
That's right.
Earthboundexpeditions.com.
Right. So there you go.
And there's so many meals included that if you didn't buy any on your own, you would certainly survive till the end of the trip.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a question that popped up about crocus there, John. But before that, since we were talking about drinking, I'm excited. I am excited for next week. I have a surprise because Brian never knows what I book on this show. Only John kind of knows. Even though I include you all in a calendar that has every guest, you guys never know who's going to be booked for the show.
Really? I don't think I've ever seen that calendar.
Yeah, it's there. So there's a chef. He's a YouTube chef. It's Cooking with Joe. He's an Italian chef.
Oh, boy.
Guess what we're going to be making next week in studio?
Spaghetti.
Gnocchi.
Okay. Ravioli.
Creamy limoncello.
Really?
I was trying to find somebody who can make it, and he has a video on creating your own creamy limoncello.
Now, we had limoncello in last week's newsletter, right?
Right. And so we're going to have him as our phone interview guest, and we're going to try to do it in studio here.
Did you see Brian's mouth drop open when you mentioned that?
Exactly. I was almost going to leave it as a surprise until.
That's the last thing I expected. But isn't it quite an extensive process?
Yeah, but we're going to have it already ready to go, and then we're just gonna put it together here.
And then I can take it home?
Yeah.
And I'm glad we're doing the show on Saturday, not Friday night, because I'm not sure how well I would feel the next day.
Well, I saw you sampling the microgreens. I don't think you should be sampling the limoncello until the show's
During
over.
the show, I got to drive home. So,
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah,
Tiger.
it's gonna be
so
fun.
that's a little preview into next week. And of course, this whole thing started back in Italy about 3-4 years ago when we went to a wine tasting, and I wasn't drinking. And John said, "Well, you got to try this." I was back on the wagon. Okay, just a few minutes to go.
Crocus, John. When they're digging them up now, when should they transplant? I don't know who the person was. Sorry, it only popped up on the screen.
Yeah, and
Is that Patty?
It was Patty in
Yeah.
San Marcos, and it was not crocus. It was crocosmia.
Oh, sorry, it comes and goes.
I thought it was
Yeah.
croquet, but go ahead.
Yeah, crocosmia can be replanted now,
All right, Patty.
as long as you're planting them in an area where the soil drains and it's not going to be wet. But yeah, you can go ahead and move them whenever you want. She has a plethora of them, Brian.
Yeah. I said Gesundheit when I read that.
And then Lenore made a comment for you, Brian. She said that Salzburg was lovely, and you'll see mountains there.
I'm the mountain guy. I'm the mountain limoncello guy. You're going to see me on a big mountain at the top of the mountain drinking limoncello and just overlooking all the kingdoms.
And blowing out of one of those horns.
Oh, those big.
Are those Matter? No, the name of the mountain's Matterhorn.
Right, but what you're thinking of is that Riccoli commercial?
Yeah.
I thought it was Ricola.
Ricola, okay. Ricola, what do I know? Hey, that's about going to do it for this week's show, Garden America. Now, as Tiger mentioned, following this broadcast, we'll be doing a live podcast right there on Facebook. It is part 2, talking about drip irrigation.
No,
We're talking about
irrigation.
Irrigation
in general.
We're talking about pop-up sprinklers.
Okay, there you go. So thank you for joining us. We do it every week here, 6 minutes after the hour, 8:06 on the West Coast, 11:06 Eastern Time Zone. In a few minutes, we'll have the podcast up and running live, so stay with us. Until then, for the entire crew, get growing America. This is Garden America. Take care.